Chapter 2, Transactions Affecting the Accounting Equation, Part 2. The essential outcomes for Chapter 2. You will be able to use the accounting equation to record transactions into their debit and credit parts. A. Identifying accounting practices related to analyzing transactions. B. Utilizing T accounts to analyze transactions. C. Analyzing how transactions affect the accounting equation. D. Connecting your key terms in the chapter with application. (2-2) Accounting terminology. Chart of accounts. A chart of accounts is a list of accounts used by a business. Most chart of accounts are very similar, however they will have exceptions depending on what type and what products or services the business offers. Now that we have just been introduced to the theory of debits and credits, let's try to apply the theory to our T accounts. August 1st, received cash from owner as an investment, $5,000. So the first question, what accounts are affected, or which accounts are affected? We received cash, so we know cash is affected, and we received it as an investment, and investments apply to capital. So cash and capital are the two accounts affected. 2. How is each account classified? We know that cash is an asset account and that capital is owner's equity. 3. How is each classification changed? When we receive cash, we know that cash increases. An investment also increases the capital count, which affect an owner's equity is to increase it. Thus, we have an increase and an increase for assets and owner's equity. 4. How is each amount entered in the accounts? To increase the asset account, we know we have to debit cash. To increase owner's equity, we have to credit the capital account. So we have a debit and a credit. Cash, debit, capital, credit. Notice our debits equal our credits, so our accounting equation is in balance. August 3, paid cash for supplies, $275. Which accounts are affected? We know that we paid cash, so our cash account is affected. We bought supplies, so supplies is affected. Notice that both of cash and supplies are assets, so only one side of the accounting equation is being affected, which means we have to have an increase and a decrease on the asset side. So our two accounts affected, supplies and cash. How is each account classified? We know that supplies and cash are both assets. How is each classification changed? We know that we increase our supplies, so one side of our asset account is going to increase. We also know that when we pay cash, we have less money, so the cash account decreases. Remember, to decrease the cash account, we have to use the right side. So we're going to have an increase of supplies and a decrease in cash. So how is each amount entered in the accounts? To increase supplies, we will debit supplies. To decrease cash, we will credit the cash account. August 4th, paid cash for insurance, $1,200. What accounts are affected, or which accounts are affected? We know that insurance is affected, which will be our prepaid insurance, and cash. How is each account classified? Again, prepaid insurance and cash are both asset accounts, which means only one side of the accounting equation is being affected, which means we have to have an increase and a decrease on the asset side. How is each classification changed? Prepaid insurance, we have more insurance, so we know that prepaid insurance is going to increase. We paid out cash, so we know our cash account will decrease. How is each amount entered in the accounts? To increase prepaid insurance, we have to debit it. To decrease cash, we have to credit it. August 7th, bought supplies on account from Supply Depot, $500. Which accounts are affected? We bought supplies, so our supplies account is affected, and we bought supplies on account, so our accounts payable, Supply Depot, will be affected. How is each account classified? We know that supplies are classified as assets. Accounts payable is classified as liabilities. How is each classification changed? Since we have more supplies, our supplies account will increase. Since we incurred more debt, our liability account will increase. So we will have two increases. How is each amount entered in the accounts? We know that to increase an asset, we will use the debit side. To increase accounts payable, we will use the credit side. August 11th, paid cash on account to Supply Depot, $300. Which accounts are affected? We paid cash, so our cash account is affected, and we paid for it on account. So we know that accounts payable, Supply Depot, will be affected. How is each account classified? We know that our accounts payable, Supply Depot, is a liability, and our cash account is an asset. How is each classification changed? Because we have incurred less debt, our accounts payable will decrease, and since we paid cash, we have less money, so our cash account will decrease. So both accounts will decrease. So how do we record these amounts? We are going to debit accounts payable to show that we have less debt, and we will credit cash to show that we have less money. So we have a debit and a credit. If you notice, our debits equal our credits, so our accounting equation is in balance. How do we record properly into a T account? If we look in the cash in the bank account, we are going to see a series of transactions both on the left side or the debit side and on the credit side. On the debit side, the dates should line up on the left side, and the dollar amount should line up on the right side. On the credit side, the dates line up on the left side and the dollar amounts on the right side. It is best to try and line up dollar amounts by ones, tens, hundreds, thousands.
Chart of account video. At this time, please stop the video, go to Google Classroom, and watch the video called Chart of Accounts on Edpuzzle. Make sure you remember to log in. Please, while you're watching the video, make sure you answer all the questions. Review the video and then take your Google Forms quiz on Google Classroom. Make sure no one on your left or right is taking the quiz at the same time. When you finish, return to this video.
It is now time to complete 2-2 work together. Please open up your accounting book to page 37. You need to find working page 23 to complete this assignment. Once you have completed the assignment, please return to this PowerPoint. If you need assistance, please let me know. You have just finished section 2-2. Make sure you check in your work with me and then please continue on with the last section, 2-3.